Tonight, a young woman killed and an elderly pedestrian fighting for life in a twin tragedy at Westfield Knox. The 5 Swans banned from the Brownlow, but they can still win as the Pullman scandal overshadows the finals. CFMEU raid. Police make several arrests and seize vehicles in a significant sting. A desperate search for an elderly man who vanished on the short drive home from a high country pub. Start your engines, Donald Trump all revved up as he turns Washington into an IndyCar track. And Sporting Grapes back calls for a new indoor stadium for Melbourne.
This is Melbourne's 9 News with Alicia Loxley.
Good evening. A young woman is dead and an elderly woman fighting for life after separate crashes outside a busy shopping centre in Melbourne's east. One was struck by a Tesla, the other a bus during the lunchtime peak at Westfield Knox. Mark Santamartino reports.
Embedded in the side of a cocktail bar, an out-of-control Tesla stopped by a steel pylon after hitting and killing a 27-year-old woman.
So it's understood that a single vehicle was travelling along the road here, has failed to give way to a pedestrian that was crossing the road.
CCTV captured the moment shoppers heard the impact and raced in to help. But the 27-year-old could not be saved. The car that killed her veered off what should be low-speed roads around Westfield Knox and into Martini & Co during the restaurant's afternoon lunch rush.
This is not believed to be an intentional act in any regard at all.
The 51-year-old behind the wheel and her female passenger have both been taken to hospital. A woman injured dining outdoors was treated by paramedics. Hours after the accident, the Tesla still hasn't been removed. It's done a tremendous amount of damage after going the wrong way up that one-way street. Investigators haven't been able to tell us how fast it was going at the time, but don't believe it was using any self-driving features.
Nothing to indicate that at the moment. That'll all be determined as part of our investigation.
An hour earlier and barely 200 metres away, another pedestrian was hit outside that same Westfield by a bus. There weren't any passengers on board, but the 84-year-old woman it struck has suffered life-threatening injuries.
My understanding is she's been transported to the Alfred Hospital with serious injuries, but at the time of my briefing was stable.
That bus driver, the Tesla driver and its one passenger all stopped at the scene and are assisting police.
OK, we'll go live now to Mark, who's outside Knox Shopping Centre. Mark, this is just a tragic sequence of events.
Alicia, it's even harder to understand when you consider just how much effort has gone into making this a pedestrian-safe area. There are bollards everywhere. This has been made into a one-way street and there are speed humps to slow drivers down to at least 20 kilometres an hour, and yet somehow this 27-year-old has tragically still lost her life. As you can see behind me, the Tesla is still embedded in that building. The tow truck has arrived though, and it will be removed as soon as the SES can deem the building safe. As for what has caused this accident, you heard the police say they don't believe this is intentional, but they wouldn't speculate as to whether or not we're dealing with a medical incident or something as simple as the driver mixing up the pedals. Alicia?
Okay, we'll see what happens. Mark Santamartino, thank you. The AFL boss has been grilled for the first time over the Sydney Swans scandal, revealing the Pullman 5 are banned from the Brownlow. Andrew Dillon says no disciplinary action is off the table as he awaits the outcome of the police investigation. Crime reporter Gillian Lantouris.
For the first time, the AFL CEO has come out swinging.
Simply, respect for women is not negotiable.
When it comes to the Pullman 5, Andrew Dillon says nothing is off the table.
The Swans have made inquiries, but there's, the police investigation, we don't know where that will go. And at that stage, when that's completed, the AFL will make its inquiries.
As for the AFL's Night of Nights,
the invitations for the Brownlow will be going out this week. Those players won't be invited. They are still eligible for the Brownlow, but they're under a club suspension, which goes until the end of the season.
Despite allegations of cocaine being seized from the hotel, the 5 players have not been tested by the league.
Those matters at the moment are under the police investigation, so the AFL won't be conducting any of its own inquiries until after the police investigation's finished. In any event, a hair sample that would be taken, it goes back 3, 4, 5 months.
While the 5 teammates were ruled out for the All-Australian team last week, 2 Swans have made the squad, Charlie Curnow and Brodie Grundy.
Lawyers for the 3 alleged victims have brought forward at least 1 new claim of sexual assault and multiple claims of sexual conduct without consent. No formal interviews have taken place with the players and no charges have been laid.
Some light in what's undeniably been a week from hell. Players buckling under the weight of emotions at yesterday's historic doubleheader at the SCG. Both the men's and women's team securing a win.
I'm so grateful for our fans to stick with us. And how we stayed so united as a club this week. I'm really proud of that.
Gillian Lantouris, 9 News.
Detectives have raided the CFMEU's Victorian headquarters as part of an investigation into alleged corruption on big build work sites. Ed Godfrey is following this story for us and joins us now live from Carlton. Ed, 5 people were arrested in this operation.
They were, Alicia. Police spent hours here at the CFMEU headquarters here on Elizabeth Street today. They arrived around 9:30 this morning and stayed until the middle of this afternoon. Plainclothes detectives going in and out of the building, emerging with bags of evidence. This is one of 6 addresses raided across Melbourne today with search warrants carried out. 5 men arrested in those raids, 2 of them charged with firearms and drug offences. Property also seized in those raids, including 4 CFMEU registered vehicles, 10 mobile phones, laptops, documents, iPads and USBs, and a Schedule 4 poison, which is a prescription-only medication. This is all part of Task Force Hawk, which is probing claims of corruption and criminal behaviour in the state's construction industry. Premier Ben Carroll has announced this Royal Commission today. He said it may run even longer than first thought.
Given the extent, the holistic approach that we're taking on this, it will probably be more around 18 months. But that's not me. I haven't got a crystal ball here. I'm going to let the Royal Commission get on with their job.
Today's raids involve the cybercrime squad as well as multiple other police units, Alicia, and they've warned of more activity to come.
OK, Ed Godfrey, thank you. Well, the Premier, meantime, has given his strongest hints yet that Jacinta Allen's pet project will be slowed down under his watch. He's flagging the change to the suburban rail loop, freeing up funding to spend on the basics that voters are demanding. State political reporter Heidi Murphy.
Doing the radio rounds to mark a month in the top job and dropping big hints about the future of the $34 billion SRL East.
It cannot be crowding out everything else we need to do as a government. There are other projects that are so much more needed and urgent.
Earning an immediate clapback from the woman desperate to replace him.
I'm a bit confused about what he's been doing sitting around the cabinet table for all these years. If he's suddenly discovering the suburban rail loop is going to cost an absolute bomb and Victoria can't afford it.
Out grinning about his dental care plans.
You just have to look up at the cameras.
Ben Carroll insists he won't be tearing up the billions of dollars worth of contracts already signed, confirming tunnelling will start next month.
This is a project that will proceed, but it will proceed financially sustainable and over time.
Ducking questions of whether he'll ink the next contract due this month for the SRL stations.
I've got no announcements to make.
There's no announcement either on whether he's agreed to change Labor's contentious working from home laws. The start date's already been pushed back, but the laws are due to be pushed through this week.
We are in negotiations as we speak, and we'll have more to say about this in the coming days.
Negotiations with
everybody.
Including business?
Oh, business I met with last Thursday.
Heidi Murphy, 9 News.
There are grave fears tonight for an 85-year-old man who vanished just 500 metres from his home. Penelope Leash joins me now live with the details. Penny, he was leaving his local pub.
Alicia, John was about to head home from the local pub, something he does regularly from the Harrietville Hotel in the High Country. The 85-year-old is around 170 centimetres tall. He was wearing a cap last night and walks with a stick. Now, family and friends have been searching the area for him ever since, along with police. They particularly want people to look out for his 2007 silver Toyota Prado with the registration number WBD077. Now, last last night, John was planning to drive home less than a kilometre from the pub. Instead, police believe after leaving the Harriettville Hotel around 8 o'clock, he then has gone between Hotham Heights and Dinner Plain. Around an hour later, the car was picked up there. Then they believe he has travelled through Omeo and maybe onto Mitta, which all up is more than a 3-hour round trip. Now, John often heads home from the hotel in the car while his wife walks, and that is what has rung alarm bells last night when he didn't arrive.
Wouldn't ordinarily drive too far, and certainly when he left his wife, they were intending to meet at home within the following sort of 10-15 minutes.
Anyone who sees John or his car, Alicia, is urged to call 000.
OK, Penny, thank you. Pressure is mounting to overhaul the GST carve-up, but the Prime Minister is standing firm. Despite almost every Premier declaring the current split is unfair, the top-up payments for WA appear safe for now. National Affairs Editor Andrew Probyn.
Back in Australia's richest state, billions more for a submarine base and a shipbuilding hub.
AUKUS is full steam ahead and WA will be central to it.
The massive Henderson precinct in Perth will be where the AUKUS nuclear-powered subs are maintained. It'll cost at least $25 billion to build, probably a lot more. The rest of the nation questioning how the nation's wealth is being split.
The current system rewards some Australians more than others.
Resource-rich WA receives federal top-up payments of $6 billion a year under a 2018 rejig of the GST carve-up, slammed as a costly mistake by the Productivity Commission.
There will be no change to WA's GST arrangements whilst I'm Prime Minister.
The Western Australian economy is driving the national economy, and we are very pleased that the Prime Minister has backed WA.
WA voters delivered a big parliamentary majority for the PM at last year's federal election, so he'll be rejecting complaints from other premiers about the GST when they meet on Wednesday for National Cabinet, especially when the polls suggest the contest may be tightening. While Labor's unchanged on 26% primary support, the Coalition's up 4 points to 25%. One Nation tumbling 5 points in just a month to 24%. Pauline Hanson losing support among women. 37% had a negative view of her in June. That's now 52%.
Yeah, thank you.
The One Nation leader's popularity dipping since her trip to Britain, where she met far-right activist Tommy Robinson. The party's also struggled with its migration target. Its newest MP contradicting Senator Hanson, it's half of Labor's.
The raw number's not too different, but the reality is, where do we need them?
When people are new in Parliament, they can sometimes get things incorrect, and that's what happens. God knows I've done it enough.
Ain't that the truth? Andrew Probyn, 9 News.
Well, the orderly streets of Washington, D.C. have roared to life, transformed into a racetrack for the Freedom 250 Grand Prix. A revved-up President Trump took centre stage as his White House struggles to gain traction with disillusioned voters. More from Reid Butler.
The United States Capitol transformed.
This is history, a new motor race conceived in liberty.
And the US President front and centre, literally waving the flag.
We have green, we are racing.
It's turned out to be much bigger than we ever even thought possible.
And the First Lady revealing she's a revhead too.
When I was growing up, my father introduced me to the races and to the race cars.
The inaugural Freedom 250 Grand Prix launching with all the pomp and pageantry you'd expect for America's birthday. The first ever IndyCar race staged in Washington, D.C. as the White House uses social media to promote the president as a sports-mad man of the people.
President Trump, a huge sports fan.
Please welcome Donald J. Trump.
Gentlemen, start your engines.
But problems at home and abroad, including the Iran war, are proving deeply unpopular among voters. According to a recent poll, Donald Trump's approval rating is underwater in all but 3 states, Wyoming, Idaho and West Virginia. Another survey shows only 1 in 3 Americans approve of the president's performance. Now, the new trade war with Canada could lead to higher prices for American consumers. Canada planning on hitting the US with retaliatory tariffs after negotiations collapsed.
5 years of elevated inflation that has largely been driven by what we call supply shocks. One of those supply shocks is the trade and tariff conflicts.
In the United States, Reid Butler, 9 News.
Two breaking news for you now, and Mark McVeigh has just been appointed as Essendon's new head coach, beating a field that of course included James Hird. Owen Leonard is live with the details. Owen, the search now complete.
Absolutely is, Alicia. They've told members just a short time ago, just moments ago, confirming that Mark McVeigh is the man. So he'll be unveiled at some point tomorrow. He played 232 games for the club. His coaching CV, including assistant roles at the Giants there and the Swans, where he currently works. But even though he's an Essendon person, there's a lot of Bombers fans that are not that happy because it means the club hasn't appointed James Hird, who many were hoping would come to save the club from one of its darkest patches. Here's how Hird reacted on Nine's Footy Furnace to finding out the news.
From a personal point of view, though, it's very disappointing. Yeah, I'm disappointed, put my heart and soul into the effort, but obviously fell short, and that's the way it goes.
And the biggest free agent in the game this year, Zach Butters, has told Port Adelaide he'll be coming home to Victoria. Geelong, the Bulldogs, and even Richmond considered the front-runners now to secure him. Here's Butters addressing that decision today.
Although I've loved my time in Adelaide and everything the city's given to me and the football club's given to me, I feel like I'm probably at a stage in my life where I'd like to get back around some family and friends and enjoy some more time with them and cherish their moments with them.
Now, arguably the other biggest free agent in the game, Gold Coast's Ben King, has also informed them he'll be returning home to Victoria. Hawthorn leading the race for King. Alicia?
Lots of movement. OK, Owen Leonard, thank you. Well, the AFL today rolled out this year's Premiership Cup and an array of prized medals as part of its finals launch. But while the famous trophy was polished to within an inch of its silver, some of the gloss was removed by the ongoing scandals which have engulfed the league. Tony Jones has more.
The launch of a final series should never be a hard sell for the AFL, but league boss Andrew Dillon clearly had other issues on his mind.
Before I begin, I do want to directly address the past week.
Two of this year's finalists entered their campaigns embroiled in controversy. Sydney and Geelong, the Cats, through its concussion blunder. But this launch acted as a reminder that there is still a Premiership Cup on offer, and it all begins with this week's historic wildcard round. It's all a little surreal for the Blues.
I haven't seen Carlton play this well for probably 25 years, so they come in with incredible confidence, but they come up against a great team, and what Melbourne's been able to do this year as well. It's going to be a great game.
It kicks off on Friday night, a final, but Bulldog Ed Richards says it feels more like round 25. That didn't go down well with the boss.
I'm not sure the Bulldogs have played many home and away games in front of 90,000 plus, so he might have a different feeling after the game.
A star of the Dogs' 2016 premiership, Tom Boyd remains one-eyed. Travis Cloke has a foot in both camps.
My hand is on the Pies, but if it doesn't work that way and the Western Bulldogs win, I've still got some close friends running around there and I'll support them and follow their journey through September.
And it's not just the players who'll be put to work on grand final day.
While it's yet to be decided just who will be handing over the Premiership Cup, because we don't know who's in the grand final, the Norm Smith Medal will be presented by former Geelong great Paul Chapman, who won the award in 2009. The Jock McHale Medal for the winning coach to be handed over by Paul Roos. And former Tiger great Roger Dean will have the honour of presenting the Ron Barassi Medal to the winning captain. There is one more job, and that is the AFL Cup Ambassador. Who will be responsible for this right up until grand final day? Former Hawthorn star Luke Hodge.
I know I've put a din or two in the 2013, 14, 15 one, so hopefully I'll look after this one a little bit better.
A victory for the AFL would be the focus actually shifting to the finals. Tony Jones, 9 News.
Well, when 9 News returns, a grieving Bayside mum's crusade to close a loophole, letting her teenage son's accused hit-run killer to keep driving. The Australian truckie charged with murdering a Thai teen says it was self-defence. Harry and Meghan now toying with a move to Australia. And a soggy commute expected tomorrow morning. Scherri-Lee will have the details next. A grieving mum is pleading for change after the man accused of hitting and killing her teenage son was granted bail and is still allowed to drive. Diego was just 16 when he was struck. Now his mother Terry is determined to spare other families her pain. She spoke to Stephanie Anderson.
In the depths of grief, Terry's Veronis has found the strength to speak out, and she's doing it for Diego.
The only thing that's keeping me alive is my fight for justice.
Her 16-year-old son was full of life, a soccer fan and always dancing. He'd just left a mate's house when he was killed in an alleged hit-run in Bentley in July last year.
He left the barbecue at 9:06 and crossed the Tucker Road, and that's when it happened.
The accused driver was charged in May this year with a string of offences, including culpable driving. The case is still going through court, but he's out on bail with a valid licence.
A person has been charged with serious indictable offences, yet they're still driving. That doesn't sit well with me.
But it is allowed under Victorian laws. That's something Terry wants overhauled, and the Attorney-General has confirmed she wants to hear her concerns.
There should be a mechanism in place where there is a rebuttable presumption of licence suspension pending court proceedings.
I've read what's being proposed and I'm completely in favour of it. It's far better to err on the side of caution.
This memorial in the spot where Diego died is now a place where his friends and family come to feel close to him. Terry is here every day and says she's a mum on a mission to deliver change in her son's honour.
I've become a shadow of who I was, and I'm just trying to find me again, and if this is what I'm meant to do, then someone upstairs is helping me.
What do you think he'd think?
You go, Mum.
Stephanie Anderson, 9 News.
A hearing that will decide whether 2 police officers face trial over the death of a builder at Hoppers Crossing has been delayed because a witness has been arrested. Lawyers for Constable Alexander Papanastasis and Sergeant James Fitzgerald want to question the woman who was in Luke Briggs's car before he was detained outside a 7-Eleven and later died in hospital.
The fact remains there's just 2 members doing their jobs, okay, trying to keep the community safe. We'll stand with them, we'll continue to stand with them.
It's hoped the woman will be able to give evidence tomorrow following her bail hearing. An Australian man accused of murdering a teenager in Thailand is pleading his innocence. In his first television interview from behind bars, Simon Carman claims he was acting in self-defence. Amanda Sabatino has the latest.
Speaking out inside a cell.
Obviously, it never happened. That was unavoidable.
At Thailand's Pattaya Remand Prison, Simon Peter Carman.
All I was trying to do was restrain her from stabbing me. Even when I had her pinned down, she still had a lot of force trying to stab me.
The 46-year-old Perth man accused of murdering local teenager Tunchanok Homila. In an interview with the ABC, Simon Carman says a physical struggle broke out inside his apartment with the 17-year-old before she died. He claims he didn't know she was a minor and denies killing her.
Well, I'm hoping and praying that I can get released from the ignore bail or acquitted because I have not done anything wrong.
The 17-year-old walking off with the man accused of murdering her on June 25, seen hand in hand inside his apartment lobby, then never again. Local police say he stuffed her body inside this suitcase before dumping it in bushland near railway tracks. Arrested at Bangkok International Airport 2 days later, bound for Perth, behind bars ever since. Simon Carman is facing 4 charges. If he's found guilty, he could also be facing the death penalty. Thai prosecutors have until September 18 to indict him. Amanda Sabatino, 9 News.
Prince Harry and wife Meghan could consider a move to Australia or Canada after their stint in Britain. A source quoted in the Sunday Times says the couple is keeping their options open for the future. There has been no comment so far from the royal family. OK, time now to get a check of the weather with Scherri-Lee Biggs, and our Monday started out with promising blue skies.
Oh, how we've been fooled, Alicia. It was a picture-perfect start to the working week. Lots of sunshine, a rather mild morning and a top of 18 degrees, which we reached by 2 o'clock this afternoon. It has clouded over and it's still hovering around 17 at the moment. But we have this low-pressure system making its way into the state tonight, and its associated rain band will see showers making their way way down from the north, which should reach Melbourne after 10 p.m. The bulk of the rain is falling early tomorrow. The ranges in the northeast should get the heaviest falls, up to 60 millimetres. Parts of Melbourne expecting up to 30 millimetres. But as that low starts to track southeast, we could see thunderstorms arising in the afternoon. There is a severe weather warning in place for the northeast ranges for heavy rain early tomorrow morning and a flood watch for northeastern catchments. So we have a wet Tuesday ahead, but it is clearing up for the rest of the week. I'll have those details soon, Alicia.
That is good news, Sherri. We'll see you shortly. Coming up for you, sacked former Demons boss Paul Guerra makes explosive claims as he sues for $1 million. The family of a shopping centre stabbing victim shown his final moments in court. Firefighters scramble to bring a warehouse inferno under control. And a new arena for the sporting capital. Industry heavyweights weigh in. A teenager has gone on trial for the stabbing murder of another young boy at a shopping centre in Melbourne's west. The jury heard the accused killer believed the victim had violated a young woman, so attacked him in front of other customers. Eliza Rugg was in court.
Some bowed their heads, others cried silently. The family members of 16-year-old Oscar Hamilton today watched the CCTV of his last moments at Woodgrove Shopping Centre in Melton West in September 2024. Prosecutors allege he was murdered by a then 15-year-old boy. He stabbed him in the torso 3 times with the knife. The third stab went straight through his heart and killed him. Police say witness evidence and phone calls show the motive, that the accused killer believed unproven allegations that Oscar had violated a young woman, not his girlfriend Briannan. She was there as he was stabbed to death. Afterwards, the accused ran away from the shopping centre and was overheard calling a girl, "I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do it, I stabbed him." The accused teenager cannot be identified. He has offered to plead guilty to manslaughter, admitting that he caused Oscar's death but claiming he didn't intend to kill him. Prosecutors have rejected that offer and are pursuing him on the murder charge. His defence lawyer describing the circumstances involving 2 teenage boys as desperately sad and tragic, reminding the jury it's really important in a case like this to not let emotion or sympathy guide your decision making. Eliza Rugg, 9 News.
The sacked CEO of the Melbourne Football Club has accused the Demons of underpaying staff as part of a bombshell unfair dismissal claim. Paul Guerra hired lawyers the day he was let go in April and 4 months later has now filed a statement of claim in the federal court. The club vehemently denies any allegations of wage theft, saying it pays staff in accordance with their entitlements. Court proceedings will begin in October. Flames have torn through a warehouse in the Russian city St Petersburg. The facility stores large quantities of paper which fueled the blaze. Investigators are yet to confirm how the inferno started. There's a fresh push for a huge new indoor stadium amid concerns our city is running out of room. Leading entertainment and sporting figures want it to be built at Melbourne Park, but the Lord Mayor has suggested Fisherman's Bend. Ollie Haig has the story.
A bold vision that's being hailed a smash hit, replacing Gosh's Paddock with a new 20,000-seat indoor arena.
It is something that we just can't sit on our hands and wait.
The push for another stadium at Melbourne Park coming amid a capacity squeeze.
We need a bigger stadium, we need more seats.
A new multi-use stadium, something the ice hockey fraternity is also warming to.
We're experiencing a massive bottleneck in terms of not being able to put our fans anywhere.
Venues like O'Brien Ice House in Docklands no longer fit for purpose.
We're screaming out for something, 3 times the size of this.
But with entertainment acts also booking out stadiums, demand for them is sky high. Rod Laver Arena can host 15,000 people, while John Cain next door is constrained to 11. There's even less at Margaret Court and the smaller outdoor arenas.
It's just the next phase of making Melbourne that home of entertainment and sport.
There's also debate about where to put it, including Jollymont Rail Yards or Fisherman's Bend.
I've got an open mind.
The question remains, how much would this all cost? Well, to give you an idea, the expansion of Rod Laver Arena was about $338 million. So safe to say it wouldn't be cheap, and then someone needs to pay for it. As for whether that's taxpayers...
My focus right now is doing the basics and getting the basics right.
...or ratepayers...
We're happy to work with any parties.
This could soon be a reality.
This is a lot more advanced than a pie in the sky. This is something that is well and truly on its way.
Ollie Haig, 9 News.
Still ahead for you, when self-driving cars go rogue, who's liable when things go wrong?
The petrol business that has managed to boost profit fivefold this year.
Helpers needed as Australia Post gears up for the Christmas delivery rush. And a blast of 90s nostalgia as Chadstone takes shoppers back in time. Petrol retailer and refinery Ampol has unveiled an explosion in profit since the US declared war on Iran. Chris Kohler has the details in tonight's finance report.
The war in the Middle East has been incredibly good business for petrol sellers. Just look at Ampol. In the first half of last year, the company made $180 million in profit and handed shareholders a 40-cent dividend per share. This year, though, the profit was almost 5 times higher, shooting to $857 million, and the dividend was pumped up to $1.85 per share. And if you zoom in, you can see a big part of that was the Lytton refinery in Queensland. In the first half of last year, it made $1 million in gross profit. This year, it's more than $500 million. Overall, the ASX was 0.5% higher today, with Ansell among the top performers, while the owner of Dan Murphy's slipped on a disappointing profit update. The Australian dollar is buying 71 US cents and 61 euro cents. And in corporate news, KPMG says it will cut 5% of its staff and trim bonuses following a scandal surrounding alleged misuse of documents.
A warning tonight about the cars of the future, self-driving vehicles running red lights and swerving between lanes. Ned Baum investigates who is to blame when something goes wrong.
Self-driving without self-awareness, drifting across the roundabout and tempting red lights.
Self-driving cars are improving and they are getting better, but they're not perfect.
Imperfections captured on camera, veering towards concrete barriers, nearly hitting a ute and changing lanes in the city. While it's in the minority of cars, it is posing a danger for all road users and pedestrians. Examples from home and viral videos from abroad bringing to light the issue of who is responsible.
I wasn't driving, so it doesn't matter.
In Australia, it's simple.
Under Australian insurance policies, the driver is 100% responsible.
Nathan Merritt runs Australia's biggest online Tesla owners group.
There's mixed stuff out about it. Roundabouts are a tricky one, even for normal humans at the best of times.
The technology is constantly updated remotely, but Nathan says drivers also have a duty to report any dangerous incidents.
That information then gets relayed to the engineers at Tesla that can constantly look at all the information and improve the different scenarios.
Long distances between either capital cities or regional centres. This sort of software and this sort of capability works very, very well.
It's more road rules in the city where it gets more complicated.
Even if they do it out of 10 times, 9 of them are correct. That one time that it doesn't, you could potentially put someone at risk.
There's a series of levels of autonomous driving. Australia only allows to level 2, where the vehicle can steer, brake and accelerate itself, but the driver must remain engaged and ready. In levels 3 and 4, the car can handle much of the responsibility itself, but drivers can intervene. And level 5, fully autonomous, no human input, you are the passenger.
Australia will have its own autonomous rollout in select areas from 2027. Ed Baum, 9 News.
Australia Post is making a resume list and checking it twice, searching for 3,500 casual workers in the lead up to the busy Christmas period. Particular in-demand roles include forklift operators, parcel sorters and delivery drivers. Well, a new fun zone at Chadstone is taking visitors back in time, all the way to the 1990s. As Justine Conway discovered, Playback 96 has the core memories covered.
If you're a child of a certain era, you've probably found yourself longing for the good old days.
Take me back to the 90s.
Go.
Step into the time machine. Playback 96 will take you there.
I think the 90s was loud, it was fun, it was for everyone.
It's just fun to get out with your friends, riding bikes in the park and coming home and watching cartoons in the evening.
We're talking about the days before social media.
Didn't need it. Who needs social media?
When Apple was just a fruit. A game of Snake on your Nokia 3210 was where it was at.
Lo and behold, it has the original Nokia sound, just to make sure you know you're in the 90s.
While video games may not have had the most sophisticated graphics, to this day nothing beats the OG Nintendo, minus the old dodgy game cartridge.
It wouldn't be working, take it out, blow into the cartridge, put it back in, magic, the 90s back on.
Physical media was all we knew, from videos to cassette tapes, and everyone had a landline. This one is still connected. Oh, I think I've just called the speaking clock.
At the third stroke, it will be 4:47 and 30 seconds.
And there's also some other secret numbers that you can dial into that phone. Who knows what you might hear.
Open for parties for all ages. No doubt the majority of visitors to Playback 96 will be those of us with long and fond memories.
This is the good old days.
Justine Conway, 9 News.
And someone who loved the 90s, Tony Jones.
No, actually it was a boring decade. It was a boring decade. But what about you, sort of like all the way back to the 90s?
I was doing that for your benefit.
Yeah, like the 1990s, not the 1890s. But
you weren't around then, were you?
I feel like it. Anyway, thanks, Alicia. Among our stories tonight, surprise ins and surprise outs in the All-Australian squad. Sam McClure live to go through them for us. Also tonight, English pushes for a shock return against the Pies. Norton also puts his hand up. Sparrow becomes a bird of prey and he's got the Blues in his sights. And a new season and a whole new look for this EPL star. The Western Bulldogs are sweating on the surprise return of ruckman Tim English ahead of a wildcard showdown with Collingwood. The 29-year-old trained with the team at a light session today, but will have to prove his fitness on Wednesday. Trent Neese reports.
At 205 centimetres tall, Tim English is hard to miss, and it was hard to miss his presence at training today.
Yeah, hopefully we can get him back. That'd be nice.
The 2023 All-Australian is now in line for a shock return after dealing with an MCL strain.
Yeah, he's pretty important, obviously being our number one ruckman, but I think Lobby's done an exceptional job in his absence.
Fellow tall Aaron Norton is expected to play despite nursing a swollen ankle.
Yeah, Norts is actually looking pretty good this morning, so hopefully he'll be able to get up as well. Needs to get rid of a bit of swelling and stuff from that ankle, but hopefully he'll be right.
Marcus Bontempelli training away from the main group on an individualised program. Despite the AFL classing wildcard round as an official finals match, there's still a bit of uncertainty here at the Kennel as to whether or not they've actually qualified for September football.
I would like to, win this one and then really, have that cemented final spot in an elimination. So, just treating this one as, I guess, another week, round 25, if you would.
Which didn't sit well with AFL CEO Andrew Dillon.
I'm not sure the Bulldogs have played many home and away games in front of 90,000 plus, so he might have a different feeling after the game.
At Olympic Park, the Pies are coming off the back of a 63-point drubbing to the Lions, but that's a distant memory now. With Scott Pendlebury injured in what was a dead rubber, Jordan De Goey backed Collingwood's decision to play their stars.
We got a great high-performance staff and people doing work behind the scenes, and they know a lot more about our bodies than we do at the moment.
Isaac Quaynor and Pat Lipinski in line to return to face the Dogs.
Slipper's next to me in the locker bay, and he looks good, so I'm assuming he'll be fine. And Q's obviously next to me as well. So, they both look great.
Trent Neese, 9 News.
Melbourne's Tom Sparrow has spoken of his pride in setting himself up to be a one-club player, hoping his bumper contract extension fuels his finals campaign. Sparrow spoke with Owen Leonard ahead of the Demons' blockbuster wildcard clash with Carlton.
Fresh off signing a 5-year deal, Tom Sparrow's first assignment, taking his D's deep into finals.
Externally, we're sort of written off a bit, weren't going to go too well, and I think we've just shown a lot of character, a lot of heart, this group, young group as well, coming up, and I just want to be a part of that.
A blue collar on baller, he's third in the league for tackles. Now he's got Patrick Cripps and Sam Walsh in his sights.
I'm sure they'll get their fair share. If I get an opportunity, I like to, stick a tackle, and I think that's some way you can lift the team as well, is big crunching hits and big tackles, so hopefully a few on Saturday night will be good.
The last time Melbourne played a final was coincidentally against Carlton, the semi-final back in 2023 in front of 96,000 fans here at the MCG. The Blues won a thrilling upset that night. Now the Demons are desperate for revenge.
It's not one of the best days for the club, but again, we get another chance to write our own story this year.
Emblematic of the Josh Fraser fairy tale, Billy Wilson's breakout season rewarded with the Last Rising Star nomination of the season.
They all got around me. I don't tend to smile too much, so they wanted to see a big smile on my face.
The 21-year-old, part of the young Carlton crew that's turbocharged the late season blitz. Jagger Smith, Harry Dean and Taylor Byrne, the club's 3 other Rising Star nominations this season.
They're going to be guns of the competition in the next few years, they already are, but to grow with them is going to be exciting.
He lives with Dean and Byrne, his household role, a bit like his on-field role.
I just floater, outside role, just help with whatever.
Owen Leonard, 9 News.
The All-Australian squad has been revealed ahead of tomorrow night's unveiling of the actual team. Sam McClure joins us live now ahead of Footy Classified. Samuel, some surprise omissions and inclusions.
Hello TJ, evening everyone. Yeah, I think you're right. The All-Australian Committee made one of the all-time clangers last year when they didn't name Nick Dacos on the field of the All-Australian team. I can only assume that those same selectors, TJ, have confused Josh for Nick in some of the games, because I'm not sure Josh Dacos deserves to be in this squad. He's had an okay year, not an All-Australian year, and I'm not sure how many games they've watched of Collingwood. If Billy Frampton is not in the best 46 players in the competition this year, given he's probably going to finish second in their best and fairest, he must be, TJ, the stiffest bloke in Australia.
Is that about the only glaring omission that has come across your desk?
Oh, I think so, and the glaring inclusion of one James Sicily. Now, James has had a good year. I think he'd be the first person to probably say not an All-Australian year. A couple of weird selections this year, TJ.
Yeah, exactly, and of course we'll be there tomorrow night for the unveiling. Hey, Sam, just before you go, did you want to apologise? Because I did say at the start of the year North Melbourne would challenge for a wild card and you dismissed it.
And they haven't. They've finished 3.5 games and 13% behind 10th, behind Carlton, who essentially were asleep for the first 9 weeks of the year. So if that's challenging for the wild card, the whole world's gone crazy.
Well, up until 3 weeks ago, they were challenging, Sam.
It's a good attempt at a defence, TJ, but you know you've lost. I look forward to dinner on you next week.
I wouldn't be holding your breath, Sam. But anyway, I'll see you on Footy Classified tonight.
Thanks, TJ.
All right. Well, a sluggish pit stop denied Oscar Piastri a podium finish at the Dutch Grand Prix, while the Aussie, because of that slow stop, eventually settled for 6th. Max Verstappen crashed out on the first lap. Look at this.
I think there's a spin, Harry. There's a big spin in the back, and it's going to be the Red Bull. And we've got more cars involved there as well. That is the Red Bull of Max Verstappen.
Lando Norris eventually took the honours ahead of championship leader Kimi Antonelli and George Russell. Manchester City has started its EPL season with a win, but only after a scare. With around 10 minutes left to play, Bournemouth was leading 1-0, but then City slammed on 2 goals.
And through for Vario, who is offside.
It is so tight. He could be on.
And City fans did a double take with superstar Erling Haaland sporting a new look. Gone are his trademark blonde locks, replaced by a buzz cut. Keep it while you can, mate.
All the kids will be doing it.
Will they?
They will. I'll be coughing. All right, thank you very much, Tony. Sherry's back with the weather forecast now. We've got a wet day on the way tomorrow.
Yes, well, parts of Melbourne, Alicia, could see up to 30 millimetres tomorrow, but it will clear up for the rest of the week. I'll have those forecast details coming up next. Hello again. Well, we enjoyed quite a lovely start to the working week. Blue skies, a mild morning and a top of 18 degrees we reached by 2 o'clock this afternoon. Now, most suburbs reached 17 or 18 degrees today. Ferny Creek, a little cooler though, with a top of 14. For most of the state today, it was partly cloudy with the odd sprinkling here and there. But this evening, we are already seeing that rain band making its way into the northwest of the state. Nothing too heavy at this point, but Swan Hill made it to a lovely 19 degrees. That rain band should only reach Melbourne at about 10 p.m, with the bulk of the rain falling overnight into tomorrow morning. It should ease briefly through the middle part of the day, but it's this low pressure system here that we're keeping an eye on, which could drive some thunderstorms in the afternoon. That system will take rain up the east coast tomorrow. Sydney could see up to 10 millimetres with a top of 22 degrees. Canberra expecting about double that with a top of 15. And back back here in Victoria, the showers will be widespread. The southwest probably least affected. Mount Hotham in the Alps could see up to 70 millimetres though, and an area between Yarrawonga and Wodonga potentially experiencing severe storms. Across Melbourne, northern and eastern suburbs might end up with a bit more in the gauges. The higher end of that scale is Yarra Glen with up to 30 millimetres, and those storms looking more likely in our northeastern suburbs, but a mild day expected for most, with maximums falling between 15 and 17 degrees. Geelong will see most of their rainfall before dawn, with showers continuing into the afternoon, up to 15 millimetres and a top of 15 degrees. It will be a wet commute into the city tomorrow, up to 20 mil, depending on where those afternoon storms fall in the afternoon, a top of 16. And it is clearing up rather quickly on Wednesday, just the chance of a sprinkling in the morning. A cool of 15 degrees. Thursday looking lovely, gradually warming up though. Friday will be peaking at 18 degrees with the chance of a shower, and looks to be staying clear through the weekend, almost bringing us to the end of winter. So make sure you take care on the roads tomorrow morning, and to not let that break in the skies midway through fool you, because it could all fire up again in the afternoon with storms. Weird that we're talking about spring just around the corner.
I know, but it's very exciting to almost get there. All right, Sherri, thank you. And that is 9 News this Monday. Ali is up next with the current affair. We hope you have a great evening. For now, good night.